Oh, greetings, everyone. It is finished at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tottenham 4, West Ham 1. What an absolute, excuse my language, shit show that was. I'm not even gonna hold back on that. That was very, very pathetic in the second half, especially. Where do I start? First half, I thought we started the game poorly. We were pretty lethargic, I thought, and that played into Tottenham's favour very, very well because they're known for their high press, their exciting style of football, and it played into their hands. I think that the goal that we scored the first goal of the game, funny enough, but I thought that came massively against the flow of all things. Areola made a great save afterwards. I forgot who the shot was from, but it took a deflection and he had to really, really readjust his footing and actually get down low and save it. I thought that Bowen in the first half looked pretty lively. He looked very, very threatening. There were two crosses. The first cross on a platter to Mohamed Kudus, shot straight at Vicario. However, the second cross was really, really good. Kudus doesn't make the same mistake he did the first time round, and he nails it. But then after that, it is just downhill. I mean, the equaliser from Tottenham, I think, can you say that Areola can do better? Well, I think it's one of those where if the save is pulled off, people are saying that's a brilliant save because he deflects it onto the post, and then if it doesn't creep in like it did, then it's a brilliant save. However, if it goes in like he did, people are saying, hey, he should be doing better. So there's sort of no in between now, is there? So Areola, unlucky, I guess. Second half, I thought that Todibo in the second half looked pretty shaky. He was done on the half turn multiple times, and he just looked very, very erratic. Not going to reuse my joke as I did a few weeks ago, but he did. He looked like a bit of a headless chook at times. And I mean, I know he had a great performance against Ipswich, but guess what? It was against Ipswich. Antonio had a great game against Ipswich. Bowen had a great game against Ipswich. Paqueta looked pretty good against Ipswich. However, when we come up against feasible opposition, these players go missing. They do. And also, I thought that this game was some of the worst passing of the season thus far. And this goes back to my first point that I made, that this was pretty much, we played into Ange Postecoglou's hands here. This Ange's style of play suits against this West Ham team. We cannot handle a press. We crumble under the pressure. We lose the ball so easily, and then when Tottenham win it back, we look so out of place. We look lost at sea. It was a perfect execution of Ange ball. We could not absorb the press, and I think that Ange knew that, and the Spurs players executed it to perfection. This is a great response against that disappointing second half to Brighton. Bowen was also invisible in the second half, I thought. I mean, he tried hard. However, he lost the ball that one time, which I think led to Son's goal, which going onwards towards Son's goal now, I think that was the one that made it 4-1. Yeah, it did. Todibo, I mean, you're defending Heung-min Son. He's one of the best he's one of the best wingers in the Premier League. I don't think that we can really blame Todibo too much on this, but the way that Todibo was marking Son only made it feasible so that Son's option was to only go for the near post. And Areola should have known that, I think. And he doesn't cover the near post well enough. And hey, I'm not a goalkeeper, or not anymore at least anyways, so I can't really be commenting on that. Well, hey, you know what? I can and I will. That was very, very disappointing, I thought. Not Areola's best game. The defence had a shocking game. And then the last event of the game was Kudus' red card. Now, I reckon Kudus deserved to be sent off first time. And I know that there'll be some West Ham fans among you guys who are thinking, oh, you know what, good on him. He was the only one who gave a damn and got himself sent off because it reflects the way that we feel. I disagree with that. I think it was bloody stupid. I think that he deserved to be sent off the bat because not only did he take a couple of kicks at Mickey van der Ven, he shoves two players in the face. Well, he shoved Mickey van der Ven in the face, and then also he takes a swipe at one of their midfielders whose name I've forgotten. That kind of behaviour is not good. And for the referee to only give a yellow card for the first time, I thought was inappropriate, because you're basically saying that if you shove an opposition player's face with force, that's okay. That's not a red card. I disagree with that. And guess what? He's not going to be available now, Kudus, until the end of the next international break, which is very disappointing because he was also, I thought, one of our better players this game. And another player who I thought was good was a player by the name of Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Now, he is just a specimen, isn't he? He never stops trying, and he can just burst. He has that core strength to burst through players, burst through challenges like they're not even there. Defensively, he was all right, but going forward, some of his passing was wayward. He had a few good moments. However, he's one of those players who I reckon at the end of the day can hold their head up high. Overall, what we can say about West Ham is that the gap between our best and our worst is very, very, very far. I mean, at least with Moyes of last season, we had some great performances. Like we beat Spurs, and also we beat Arsenal twice. But the ironic thing is that the one game that Arsenal did beat us, that 6-0 thumping, beat us on aggregate of those two wins by a margin of 4 goals. So it has sort of continued on, this shakiness with our defence, that when it goes wrong in such a bad way. When, the floodgates have opened, that is West Ham's defence. And here's the thing, Tottenham scored 3 goals in 8 minutes. You can say that we were in the game for 82 minutes. It was just 8 minutes of pure calamity that caused the scoreboard they did. And guess what? I reckon it actually could have been more. I said a few weeks ago after the Ipswich game, let's give Lopetegui time. I look like such a mug right now. This season, we've either got an expected result or we've severely underperformed. I cannot think of a time where we've actually overperformed. And also, last but not least, we bought a ton of new players who were meant to solve many, many of our issues. But it seems as though those issues still persist. At the beginning of the season, you say you want a striker, we want some more defenders to replace Zuma and Aguerd, and we want a holding midfielder to hold Alvarez and Souček accountable. Given the players that we've brought in and their performances thus far, in January we probably need those 3 positions again. You know what? Bring on Man United next week. Excuse me for ranting on so much. It's been a little bit too long now. Hope you have a good rest of the week. Catch you later.